Well, Sushant Singh Rajput's death case probe has opened a can of worms. More and more new names are now spilling out as far as the drug Bollywood nexus is concerned. Let me, tell our viewers that as the Narcotics Control Bureau is widening its investigation in the Bollywood drug mafia case, Times Now has accessed 3 drug chats that put Bollywood's A-listers in the dock. 2 of the biggest names revealed yet is that of Deepika Padukone and film producer Madhu Mantena Verma. NCB has summoned Deepika's manager Karishma over the drug chats, and sources are telling us that Deepika could be summoned next by the NCB. The probe agency will in fact also summon Sara Ali Khan and Shraddha Kapoor. The names have come up after Jaya Saha was questioned and her phone data gave up these other big names as well. Remember, Jaya Saha was questioned yesterday as well by the Narcotics Control Bureau. It's not now just limited to Riya Chakraborty or Shauvik Chakraborty or the other peddlers who were giving them drugs. Now big names are being exposed, and at the moment, let's try and decode the B-Town drug list that we have gotten access to via those chats which have now been accessed after Jaya Saha's deposition before the Narcotics Control Bureau. Now, what does K stand for? In the chats that we are going to play out for you, there are some alphabets which have been used as codes to communicate with people. Now, K stands for Karishma. Karishma is Quan Company employee, and Quan Company is a talent management company. Karishma herself was or is Deepika Padukone's talent manager. Let's move on now. D stands for Deepika Padukone herself, the biggest name that has come out in this list so far. Shraddha Kapoor is another big name. She is being referred to in those chats with just S at various places. Now, N is a Bollywood actor from the 90s. We do not know exactly the identity of this person, but this person has also been referred to at several points in the chats that will shortly show our viewers. Moving on, there is the reference to J as well. J is Jaya Saha herself. She supplied drugs to these stars, as would be evident when you take a look at those those chat transcripts that we will be playing out for you shortly. Now, take a look at these biggest names which are out yet, and the way their chats have now, in fact, completely exposed how this entire modus operandi was working. D is Deepika Padukone, like I said earlier. K is Karishma, employee of Quan. Now, K, Mal, you have is the question from Deepika, and that's at 10 o'clock in October 2017. Now, Karishma, to that question of Deepika, says, I have, but at home, I am at Bandra. Now, after that, it goes on to further say that I can ask Amit if you want. So, this is what Deepika was referring to. But now, go on further in the second page. Deepika says, yes, please. Karishma, Amit has, he is carrying it. So now, through someone known as Amit, Karishma is trying to arrange, quote unquote, the mal that Deepika had asked for. Now, in this third page, it becomes clear what sort of mal was Deepika referring to. Hash na, question mark, not weed. So these are clear references to the drugs that they are talking about. Karishma says, yes, hash. So the confirmation also comes in. Deepika has asked for hash, which she was referring to as mal, and Karishma has arranged for it. Now, what time are you coming to Coco is what Karishma is asking. They go on to further, discuss how they are going to pass on these drugs to Deepika. She says, I'll be coming there at about 11:30 or 12ish. Till what time is Shal there? There's another person that Deepika is referring to here. Then, in fact, Karishma is saying that I think she said 11:30 because she needs to be at the other place at 12. So they are coordinating the time now to obtain that packet of hash that Karishma seems to have arranged for Deepika Padukone. Now, move on further. There is this chat which N has initiated. Now, like I said earlier, the identity of this person is yet to be established. He is apparently a Bollywood actor from 90s, but we don't know exactly whom as of now. So you promised me to get some nice MD in Bombay and we will party together. That's what N is saying. MD is another reference to another drug which is banned and is being circulated freely, it seems, amongst Bollywood circles with the help of Jaya Saha. Move on further. He says that when I come next, truly need a break. He is trying to arrange for himself and his next trip in Bombay a drug by the name of MD, and he says that I'm really looking forward to it, is what is being referred to here. Now, in further pages here, J, remember J is Jaya Saha. how you are making me into a peddler. She herself is referring to being, perhaps playfully, being made a peddler, a drug peddler who's trying to arrange these drugs for several people who are in touch with her, whether you talk about, directly being in touch with her or those people who are working with her in Quan Talent Management Company. Now, further, if we go into more pages of these chats that we have gained access to, it becomes more and more clear that she is willingly doing it. She says, however, your wish is my command. Even if she in the previous chat said that you are trying to make me a peddler, your wish is my command, and obviously it will be fulfilled as and when she gets hold of the stock. So these are in fact very important chats. We have gotten hold of these chats following the interrogation of Jaya Saha by the Narcotics Control Bureau. Let me go across to my colleague Imran now, who's tracking all these inputs for us from Mumbai. He's joining me live on the broadcast. Imran, this is extremely critical. It was only yesterday that Shruti Modi, Jaya Saha were both once again questioned by the NCB, and now these chats prove once again that there are bigger names in Bollywood who will be summoned soon.
Well, absolutely. All these chats and the persons involved belong to one company, is Quan, which is the biggest talent hunt management company in Bollywood. And the first was the Jaya Saha, from where because of the leaks, the chats the NCB had got between Riya Chakraborty and Jaya Saha, where Jaya Saha is even suggesting Riya to use the CBD oil in the tea and wait for at least 20 minutes so that then you can get the high dose of kick, and which will be given to Sushant Singh Rajput. From there, it was now come down to many of the A-listers were there as part of the WhatsApp groups of Jaya Saha. In fact, she is the head of the Quan management as a talent hunt management group. She was the head of the talent hunt, and Karishma is who's managing Deepika. Also is there in the WhatsApp groups where Karishma Deepika is requesting her to get some drugs and saying that what mall is there today, indicating referrally to the drugs what is available there, especially MDMA, which is ecstasy pills, popularly referred to as the party drug. And then there are Shraddha Kapoor's manager. Also, she's part of the Quan management. Now, the NCB has not only just asked them to join the probe. In fact, the director of the company and the producer, and who's also associated with the company, who is in part of the Phantom Films, and 17 films he has produced. He's also along with Anurag Kashyap. So these are the people who are part of the Quan management have been called for questioning by the NCB. What is important is that the NCB is also called the A-listers of the Bollywood, like Sara Ali Khan, Shraddha Kapoor, we have already mentioned. Yes. Now with this chats exclusively we got yesterday, Deepika Padukone will likely to be summoned by the NCB. So the NCB gets cracking not just on the Bollywood B towns, but also A-town celebrities in Mumbai.
And also, very importantly, we are trying to piece together the role perhaps that could have been played by these employees of Quan Talent Management Company. Kajal Iyer is also joining me on the broadcast. But before I go to Kajal, I want to now play out for our viewers the chats that we have between Shraddha Kapoor and Jaya Saha. Now take a look at these chats, how Shraddha Kapoor's name surfaces. Here, Jaya Saha is telling her, call me once you are down, we'll come and get you. So these are the chats between S and J. S is Shraddha Kapoor, J is Jaya Saha. Now, if we go to the second page of this chat, it becomes more clear how Shraddha was in fact, interacting with Jaya Saha to get those chats, those drugs. Hello, I am sending across the CBD oil. This is the clear-cut reference to a drug that is made in this chat. No more code words. This is a clear-cut reference with Geenal today. Now, Geenal, we are given to believe, is another person who was working with Jaya Saha in her talent management company, Quan, and she was also handling a few Bollywood A-listers. Hey, thank you is the message from Shraddha Kapoor. This is in reference to the CBD oil that Jaya Saha has helped her obtain. And then there comes the emoji from Jaya Saha saying thank you to her as well. And both are happy with that interaction that has just happened. Again, in another chat, Shraddha Kapoor is asking, listen, I still want to meet SLB. Now, I'm not sure what is this chat all about, but there shows that there is a clear interaction between Shraddha Kapoor and Jaya Saha, and CBD oil is being referred to in those chats. It's also something that was referred to when Jaya was interacting with Shruti related to some drug that needs to be administered to Sushant Singh Rajput as well. Now, Kajal is with me on the broadcast. Kajal, this is extremely important. These Bollywood A-listers are shown in clear interaction with Jaya Saha, and the drugs are also named in those chats. Now, those people who are saying that they are being unnecessarily targeted cannot say that anymore, because the chats speak for themselves. Obviously, there is a clear interaction between these people who want to consume those chats. Why else would you name them?
For course, it does raise a lot of questions about why about these things if they really had nothing to do with it, and that is the crux of the investigation. Also, all of these stars could actually be called in by the NCB to clarify on their chats and why they were chatting about these drugs with employees of Quan, because that will form the crux of the investigation, and the NCB will try to establish whether or not Quan was being used as a conduit for drug transactions, because it does seem that most of the chats that they have got so far with respect to Bollywood had something or the other to do with Quan. And why is that the case? So that is something that NCB will try to investigate right now, and the employees of at least 3 people related to Quan are going to be questioned today. And not just that, people named in the chat, the stars named in the chat, could also be called for questioning. We know that at least 3 stars are to be called this week itself. That's what the NCB has confirmed to us. And as and when more names come in, because remember, every time a star or a peddler or an employee.
Kajal, I think I just lost that line with you. We'll try to reconnect that line with Kajal Iyer. But Imran, as far as Quan Talent Agency is concerned, Kajal was saying that at least 3 employees of the agency have been summoned so far, and there could be more, because there are several names which have come out. Not just Jaya Saha, Karishma, Jeenal and others have been at some point in time either associated with Jaya directly or with the Quan Talent Agency.
Well, absolutely, Preeti, all these people have been managing some of the A-listers in the Bollywood industry. Jaya Saha herself was a manager for Sushant Singh Rajput. Karishma is manager for Deepika. And Jinal is handling the portfolio of Shraddha Kapoor. And so these are people are all connected through a common entity, is that the Quan Talent and Management Company. Now, the director of the company, Dhruv, have also been asked to summoned by the NCB. So this is the entity from which all of this are connected. And these are the managers for some of the A-listers of the Bollywood industry. And there they're seeing chatting and supplying about drugs and parties, and asking them to supply MDMA, ecstasy pills, CBD oils, hash, weed. So these are the things which have come up. And what some of the people said that do not attack the Bollywood, but the WhatsApp chats clearly show that the drugs are free flowing in the Bollywood, right. And A-listers are demanding from their managers that drugs should be supplied to them for parties, and some of them is even saying that I'm turning.
And at one point in time, Jaya Saha in those chats is also going on to say, your wish is my command, even though I feel like a peddler. Stay with me, Imran. We are getting some breaking inputs just coming in.